Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Dave from 2averagedudes.com. Mike is going to give you all sorts of information very soon. And you know what today's topic is? How there is a difference between Quebec job losses and Alberta job losses. With the SNC Lavalin issue, we have learned that the Quebec jobs that could be lost because of SNC Lavalin are very important. The government keeps talking about how they're trying to save jobs, so on and so forth. And the only reason they're looking at any deal for that company is to protect those jobs. Because as a government, they want to protect jobs, okay? It keeps coming back to protecting jobs. I know I'm repeating myself, but so is the government. It keeps coming back to protecting jobs. And they're looking out for all Canadians by doing this. Now, what we have found is that it almost disregards the rest of Canada. And when you look at what has happened over the last few years with Alberta, you know, there is a ton of jobs lost there. And there was really nothing done in that situation. And like everybody knew this. Everybody knows that, you know, there was a lot of jobs lost here. They're trying to protect jobs there, so on and so forth. But nobody actually says any numbers. Nobody actually sits there and goes, you know what? This is the difference. Well, Mike has. Mike has sat there, did a little research on it, and he's come up with some numbers. And like we were discussing it, he's come up with some really good stuff. So Mike can explain this financial stuff better than me. So take it away, Mike.
Okay, guys, it's time to get serious about this matter. Justin Trudeau, the Liberal government, have been boasting about saving the 9,000 jobs, in Quebec that SNC Lavalin has. That's what they say Quebec will lose, okay, if they don't interfere and intervene. Well, let's start with the first point of this, okay? We're talking 9,000 jobs. The government alone has stated that the country has created 100,000 jobs over January and February. So 9,000 jobs is irrelevant. The government shouldn't even be getting involved for the fact that they're trying to save 9,000 jobs when you've created apparently 100,000 jobs over the last 2 months. But let's forget all about that. Let's say this was a dire thing and all that. And let's say that SNC Lavalin says, we're leaving, we're gone. You didn't give us a deferred prosecution agreement, so we're leaving. What really happens to these 9,000 jobs? Okay. Now, SNC Lavalin employs almost 9,000 people. Okay. Right now, about 3,000 are in Quebec. 700 are in the head office in Montreal. 3,000 are in Ontario. 1,000 are in Vancouver, and the rest are spread across the country. Okay. So if SNC Lavalin was convicted tomorrow, okay, and they were accused of the bribery and couldn't get government contracts for 10 years, here's what would happen. They wouldn't leave Canada. They can't leave Canada. You want to know why they can't leave Canada? They already have contracts to finish a bunch of government jobs that are going to take them years to finish. Okay? They've already won those contracts before, and they're already working on them. So they have years of work. Not just that, they only don't do work for the government. They do work for tons of, public sector or private sector companies, and they have all that work to do. So they still got to finish all that work. So these people would not be out of a job right away. And then what would happen down the road, a couple of years down the road, when they finally got done all their government work, and they really want to put a stink and really want to leave the country. Let's just say it's 2022, they're done all their work and they want to leave. Those 9,000 jobs aren't disappearing. Okay, someone else. There's tons of other companies in our country, Don Ellis and a few of the other ones I can name, that do the same kind of work. So the government jobs in the future are still there. There are billions and billions of dollars in infrastructure work that we're doing, that we're borrowing money to do. Billions. So any other one of these companies will step up, and they'll end up hiring the majority of these people because those government jobs still need to be done, and it has to be done. So at the end, really, okay, if SNC Lavalin got up and left, we're really looking at a couple thousand jobs lost at the most. I'd say 2,000 at the most. I'm sure SNC Lavalin is heavily overstaffed in the office. So maybe half the office jobs would go, so we'd lose 350 people. And maybe a quarter of the other jobs would go. 1,300 to 1,500 people would go. That's all we would lose. And according to the government in their new job stats, that's 2,000 jobs, a kick in the bucket. It means nothing. We just made 100,000 jobs over the last 2 months. So what's the issue with losing 2,000? At the end of the day, it had nothing to do about jobs. Okay, nothing. People can have all their theories about it. Was SNC-Lavalin, gives money to liberals. Well, SNC-Lavalin gives money to who's ever in power. Come on, they're bribing companies. Doesn't matter if it's conservative, NDP, they're going to give money to whoever. The fact of the matter is, Justin Trudeau did not want SNC-Lavalin taking their head office out of Quebec. That's it. Did not want them taking the head office out of Quebec. That's the big issue here. It's got nothing to do with jobs. It's got nothing to do with job loss, because those employees will all be picked up. He does not want the reputation of, being in power when SNC-Lavalin left Quebec. Because what would happen? All these other companies, like Don Ellis from Ontario and all them, would pick up all the work, and they'd become the powerhouse company for government contracts. The power would leave Quebec and go to another province when it came to government bidding and contracts and this stuff. So Justin Trudeau didn't want to see the power leaving Quebec. And if it's all about jobs, let's talk about Alberta. If you're really worried about saving jobs, Justin Trudeau, since you've been in power, Alberta has lost roughly 50,000 full-time jobs. Okay? They've lost, way more jobs have been placed by part-time jobs. So you can play it up however you want and say, well, Alberta's doing fine because, 50,000 people have found part-time work where they work 10 hours a week. But the fact of the matter is, there's 50,000 people that are not full-time employed anymore in Alberta. And you've done nothing to try and stop that. You've just let that go. And you've let them lose their jobs. And you've let that province suffer. So anytime I hear you talk about jobs, it angers me. Because it's not really about jobs. It's really about your prestige and you trying to, protect Quebec like you normally do. The facts don't lie. The numbers don't lie. These are real numbers. These are real numbers from you guys. I'm taking these numbers from Stats Canada, and I'm pretty sure it's more than 50,000 full-time jobs. Stats Canada says we created 100,000 jobs over the last 2 months. That is a highly inflated number. There's no way that those jobs came in. So I'm pretty sure Alberta has lost way more than 50,000 full-time jobs since, Trudeau started in power. Post your comments below, guys. Let me know. If you're from Alberta, let me know what you think. Let me know what the economy looks like for you guys. Are you losing jobs left, right, and center? Are a lot of people out of work? The numbers are all skewed based on how they want to be presented. The unemployment rate's based on people looking for work. Well, how do we know if you're looking for work or not? What determines if you're looking for work? So they can make it look like your unemployment rate is going way down, in Alberta. And these part-time jobs make it go way down. Okay, a guy making $200,000 a year now making $20,000 working part-time. Well, that's not equivalent. So you can't say his lost job and his gain job, make each other equal, because they don't. They don't. Okay. So at the end of the day, just sit back and go, the fact of the matter is, this was not about jobs. It was never about jobs. And if it was really about jobs, they'd figure out how many jobs they could lose. And like I said, it would be minuscule. Okay, GM's losing way more jobs in Ontario right now. Justin Trudeau wants you to cut them a check for $80 billion so they can keep going and keep those jobs. Don't see you doing much in that matter. So, again, it's all about keeping SNC-Lavalin in Quebec and having Quebec still be the powerhouse for all the future government contracts. That's it. And I'm sorry, Alberta. I wish we could do more for you. I wish you would do more for you. You guys have kept our country going for years, and it's sad to see you guys with such a shaky economy right now. And let us know if we can help. We'll gladly help. If you got some topics you want us to talk about or research or bring up, post them in the comments below. Shoot us an email. You know, we support you guys out there, and we appreciate you guys. You know, we support every province. We support every worker out there. We don't pick and choose who we want to support. So let us know what you think. Guys, check out our website, 2averagedudes.com. Check out our polls and surveys and all the fun stuff, our unedited, uncensored videos, all the good stuff we have on there. Check us out on Twitter. We're making a Twitter run now. And we'll catch you next time, guys.